Here we go. Episode 84, uploaded and coming at you after this holiday weekend. Hope you all had a great holiday weekend and made some money. We'll get back into that here in a few moments. Going to update you on what's happening with the Belmont Stakes, but first I want to take you back and share a little something with you. 2014, I was on the road covering California Chrome's Triple Crown Pursuit. I was working for CBS 13 Sacramento and Good Day Sacramento at that time. Main host for Good Day Sacramento morning show, main anchor for CBS 13 News at noon and in the morning. Because of my proximity to horse racing and because the owners and breeders of California Chrome reached out to me personally, we were invited to be on the road to Louisville, to Baltimore, and then eventually to Belmont for the Belmont Stakes in 2014. I was just feeling like I was starting to figure out how to handicap, so I really had a lot of fun doing it. But I wasn't working in the industry, but I was still covering everything and handicapping. So for the Belmont Stakes, my younger brother, his name was Eric, he has since passed away, but he was really big in corporate world, and he would always, after I got involved in horse racing, I took him to Hollywood Park, I took him to Del Mar, I took him to Santa Anita, and then he would kind of take it upon himself to put together groups and go have little parties at the track. So he decided to put together a group of all of his corporate investors, and they went to Santa Anita to watch the Belmont Stakes in 2014. So my brother's my best friend, the only person that I pretty much talk to every day. And so I'm in New York. I'm working round the clock covering California Chrome, doing live hits for the morning show back in Sacramento, doing hits for our sister station in San Francisco, and just doing all this content to cover California Chrome. So I'm wicked busy. But there's a little bit of a lull, and my phone rings, and it's my brother. So I pick up, like, what's up, man? He's like, hey, man, and I can hear all this commotion behind him. He's like, I'm at this party right now. We got this room. We're at Santa Anita. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, we're here to watch the Belmont. There's a party. I'm like, oh, okay, man. He's like, look, all my guys want to know who I should bet. And I'm like, well, man, we're here for California Chrome, so you don't want to bet California Chrome? He's like, no, my guys want to figure out a way to make money. I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to make money betting California Chrome. That's for sure. I was like, but if you don't want to play this horse, I get it. I have a horse for you, and I think it might be well worth your time. There's a horse in here. The horse's name is Tonalist, and his trainer is incredible. It's a guy named Christophe Clement. Everything he does is right and perfect. His horses are always ready. They're always fit. I'm like, and if California Chrome is not ready today, Tonalist will win this race. My brother says, okay. And I hear him turn to everybody. He's like, hey, we're betting this horse, Tonalist. And he's like, all right, brother, I love you. I'll call you back. Hangs up the phone. Race goes off. California Chrome gets stepped on coming out of the gate. We all know the story. We all know the history. Joel Rosario with a great ride on Tonalist, who goes off at 9-2 and wins the Belmont Stakes in 2014. After that, I'm working. I got to rush down, try and get as many post-race interviews as I can before I feed footage back to Sacramento and then get ready for the live hit coming up in the news in about an hour or so. So I'm scrambling. My brother calls me back. I can't pick it up because I'm like trying to do my thing. But I know that I gave them the horse and I'm just not sure what the details are, right? I get through my job, do all the stuff. I finally get around after the whole night of feeding back, doing live interviews, doing all this stuff to cover the Belmont and all the controversy after that. We go back to the stable. They give us access. I talk to Alan Sherman, and we talk all about what's happening with California Chrome. Done. I finally have a chance to go back to my phone. I go back to my phone, and then I listen to the message, and my brother and his friends are going completely bonkers. And they're like, oh my God, man, we made so much money. You're the best. You're like the best ever. You're the man. Dude, this is so fun. And that moment is like so cool. It's the thing that we all love. It's not just the feeling of being right. It's the honor of giving that feeling to somebody else. That's what I've always loved about this. I've always to say on the show, I wish I could give you this feeling. I wish I could give you this feeling. I would always quote Kanye West, but just that moment, giving that to my brother and having him be the biggest man in the room was what he loved to do more than anything. It was like a great pleasure. The man who helped make that happen passed away over the weekend, an incredible conditioner. I never met him, never interviewed him. I don't know him, so I can't say anything other than the best thing I can say as a player is that I always trusted you. Christophe Clement always trusted you. Knew you were going to do right by the horse. Knew your horse was going to be ready. And as a bettor, that's the greatest compliment I could ever pay you. Much respect, Christophe Clement. And with that, let's get down to business. Belmont Stakes, aforementioned, coming up here on June the 7th at Saratoga to be run at 10 furlongs. That's a mile and a quarter. That changes things a little bit, right? When Tonalist won, it was a mile and a half. Take a look at your field. Okay, so we're getting to a point where we know Sovereignty's going. We know Baeza's going, right? They say Rodriguez is going, but we'll see. They say Heart of Honor is going, but he needs more schooling in the gate to not mess up. We'll see about that. Hill Road, he's the only one that's kind of just like, all right, he's going. Still waiting on journalism to commit. I believe that they will. And then we talked about this last week, how Todd Pletcher is considering Grande and Crudo. Grande makes more sense. Crudo, we'll see what they do with that. But even if we won't get all these horses. I guarantee you that. I don't believe Pletcher's going to put 2 horses in this race that have such a similar running style. I don't think that works. So then it brings me to the question that I've been asking. Where are all the 3-year-old runners who have speed? Because that's what this race is lacking. I have zero confidence that Rodriguez will be ready to go, and 100%. I have no confidence in that. So where are the other runners that can bring some pace to this? Because I just want more excitement. More horses means more excitement. Now, it's easy for the media to sell Sovereignty versus journalism and Baeza, right? Your top 3 finishers from the Derby. That's super lazy. It's easy to do. I just want to always keep it exciting. Want to have some horse in there that may just be like a little wrinkle. So I've been doing some research trying to figure out where would those horses be. All of those horses ran in one race on the Derby undercard. They all ran in the Pat Day Mile. And if you saw that race, it was a wicked sloppy track, but they went fast. 22 and 44 for the half. They were fast. And Macho Music was just incredible that day, right? So now that horse proved that he's fast. Now he's going to go to the Woody Stevens, which is on the same day, the undercard for Belmont. But I'm looking at the rest of these runners, and I'm wondering why won't they send a couple of these? Now look, I don't think anyone in this race field you're looking at can win the Belmont. That's not my point. I don't care. That's the trainer's problem. I'm speaking from a bettor's perspective, how I want to see more horses and more diversity so it makes it more fun to handicap and to talk about the race. Macho Music going to the Woody Stevens. Okay, Madaket Road and Gaming, they ran their race. They're not good enough, so I just removed them. But it's the bottom 3 horses that I think are intriguing. Innovator has speed. California Burrito has speed. Built has speed. They hated that sloppy track. And they probably didn't like the mile distance. I think those horses want mile and a 16th. They may not want a mile and a quarter, but you don't know until you put them in a situation. I'm wondering what those connections are thinking, because if you watch that race, you can see California Burrito never really runs. And Built, he's up there for a minute and then he backs out. He's not really into it. They don't want the mile. They don't want the sloppy track. Maybe one of them wants to go a mile and a quarter in the Belmont just to make it more exciting. I mean, the thing that's so weird to me is that you had these horses and you wanted them to run in the Derby, which is 150 times more difficult than what you're going to face coming up in the Belmont, because now you have more time. And so I'm like, California Burrito and Built, you guys were both, and Built was in the race up until the last minute, and they finally decided to get out of there, even though we were all like, you don't belong here. But now you've had some more time. You've got like a month now since this race, and those horses didn't run a step. So maybe they can come in and be exciting and add a little something to the Belmont. That's all I'm saying. Just add a little something to the Belmont. All right? Speaking of add a little something, let's try to add a little something to your bankroll. We were able to get lucky last week, back-to-back $20 winners on the play of the day. Our play of the day on Saturday did not work out. Prince of Del Mar was the wrong long shot. Like Ryan Hansen had the number 8 horse, who was like 40-1 who won that race. Okay, good for them. That's awesome. Seriously, it's a good small outfit. They do a great job. Let's see what we can find today, right? So we're gonna go to Horseshoe Indy, the most bonkers track. Like, I don't know what it is about that track, but I get so mad at Horseshoe Indy because Turfway, I expect things to happen, right? I expect things at certain tracks, but the stuff that happens at Horseshoe Indy is like, really. Like, they had a horse last week. The horse loaded into the gate at 22-1. Don't you know this motherfucker crossed the wire at 5-1? Anyway, I'm gonna try to beat the devil. We'll try to beat Satan at his own game. Race number 8 on the card from Horseshoe, Indianapolis. 1 mile on the turf here for this Tuesday play of the day. There are 2 horses in this race, I think, that are interesting. The 8, and then there's the 12. Juanita's Express. I think this runner is fantastic. Coming back off a little bit of a freshening, right? Has not run there since running in March at Turfway Park, and that was horrible. Just scratch that, throw that out. Goes back to the turf course today. You can see 4 of the last 5 victories for this horse came on the turf course. There's 1 victory on the synthetic. I think that they close. Great closing kick, and there's enough speed to set it up for them in the race. I'm going to go with Juanita's Express. Coming off the layoff, we're 12-1 morning line. We will not be any lower than 9-1, which is our jam. 9-1 is exactly what we want. We'll take it all day, and it's awesome. So that's our play of the day. Horseshoe Indy Race 8, the number 12, Juanita's Express, probably 9-1. And we'll get another $20 winner to get off to a great start this week as we continue trying to put together a plan. Not only a plan for the Belmont, but that entire weekend. There's racing that's just crazy. Specifically, the action coming up with that Belmont action there at Saratoga. Going to be so much fun and could be extremely lucrative. All right, so that's how we get things started. We take a look at what's happening with the Belmont. We look forward to our play of the day coming through. We pay tribute to an outstanding, incredible horseman in Christophe Clement. Rest in peace to you. Good luck and enjoy whatever you're into. And in the meantime, in between time, until next time, we'll see you here on Horse Race Bets.